It's more of the most powerful talk lineup on the radio. Listen live right now on the WHIO app, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk.
Hold on to your panties. The party is about to begin.
I can hardly wait.
I love this show. Check 1, check 2, check 3.
Are we ready?
Check 4.
You know what? Enough talk. It's showtime.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me now, 937-457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Hey, gang, I'm in this big studio, and around me, a whole bunch of singers were auditioning to sing the Star Spangled Banner opening day down at the Reds game.
Okay, Steve Kirk, audition, take 1.
Oh, say, can you see?
Let's try that again, Steve.
Oh, say, can you see?
Okay, thank you very much, Steve. Don't call us, we'll call you.
Yeah, I guess I'm not cut out for this. Join me in the morning on the Kirky Show. Oh, say.
It is the Evening Edge, Monday to Friday, 5 to 7. And there probably wouldn't be an Evening Edge if it weren't for the late, great Steve Kirk. He was one of my earliest inspirations. I grew up in Dayton, listened to Kirky, also listened to Lou M. Two radio icons. And I'll get into it in a little bit. I'm not going to do it right now. But I'm gonna talk about how he was inspiring to me, and my small, it was I would say insignificant connection for him. You know, I was just a young radio kid. I didn't know anything, but for me, it was a huge deal. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Also tonight, we have a pair of tickets to give away to see Sammy Hagar and Loverboy. They're going to be at River Bend in August, and we're going to do a current events quiz with that. And also, I've not heard of this guy, but apparently he has quite the social media following, a real-time traveler from like the year 2640. And he's got his own TikTok. And he's got some predictions for this year. So we're going to talk about that. But first, I got a question.
That's what I hear, Ron.
Ron, are you...
Run. Take you, for example, Ron. Excited to meet you too, Ron.
Run. Ron?
I'm in present day, by the way.
You are present day. You're not a time traveler. Thank God.
Right.
I had my doubts.
If anything, I would go like back in time.
Right.
Not be like,
don't go forward in time. Who wants to see that nonsense? Things are crazy enough as it is, right? I'd rather go back to the good old days. I don't know what good old days means, but you hear that. Back in the good old days.
It's all subjective.
What good old days. So I'm assuming last night you watched the big Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Last night was the first time in probably 20 plus years that I have watched the Super Bowl from the very beginning to the very end with no breaks.
Wow.
No breaks. And it was a really good game. It was classic. I thought it was a classic game. And I didn't think that they overdid it on the Taylor Swift stuff. I know there were a lot of people that thought that it was going to be over the top. I didn't think it was over the top. Did you?
I think there was one appearance in the first half. Now, when Kansas City was making the big comeback and whatnot, you saw a lot more of her.
People were super excited and super pumped.
Yeah.
Parker, he's got a comment on this.
Well, I saw a stat that she was on TV for a total of 54 seconds, which is 1% of the broadcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my point. And people were just like losing their minds, flipping out because they thought it was going to be, wall-to-wall Taylor.
Honestly, I wish we had only seen Tony Romo for 51 seconds or whatever. That's just my opinion.
I get that.
Yeah.
But just a couple of observations, and I want to get your take on it.
Yeah.
First of all, I thought it was, and I'm just a casual guy, a casual football fan, right? But I thought it was a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there were some mistakes that were made, and I don't know if they were forced errors or if it was just sloppy play or whatever, where I sort of like, I'm a little surprised that at this late in the season, at this point, they'd be making mistakes like that, especially a couple of the emotional, like poor sportsman like conducts, penalties. You know what I'm talking?
There was a lot of yelling on that Kansas City sideline.
Yeah. Did
guys
you
yelling
see
at each other? Did
you see Travis Kelce when he bumped into Andy Reid?
Oh, he was crazy mad.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, red faced and everything.
I thought, I saw that and I told my wife, I said, man, if I did that to Nick Roberts here at WHIO, I would be benched forever. Our ops manager. Yeah. Just like
wow,
bumps getting in his face. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Man.
Yeah. By the way, I've been in a radio station when somebody had that kind of meltdown, and it wasn't me.
Yeah,
it wasn't me.
I get it. Yeah.
The other thing that I thought, you mentioned we only saw Taylor for like 51 seconds. You know who I think very comparable amount of time on screen? Jeff Goldblum. He was in like 3 or 4 commercials last night. It was he plays the wizard in Wicked, which they dropped the trailer for.
Yeah.
He was also in that apartments.com ad.
Yeah.
And then the houses.com ad.
Yeah, the houses.
And I think there might have been a fourth. I don't remember, or maybe they showed one of those again. But I was like, he kept popping up on the screen, and I thought that was kind of amusing.
Yeah.
The other thing was just another example, sad example, and I have talked about this on the show. American streakers just don't know what they're doing.
Not anymore.
No. At one time, back in the 70s, and I remember this. This was like a fad where people were streaking, and they were naked. Right. They were naked. They'd have like trench coats on or something, and then they'd run onto the field or run onto the court or whatever, and they were stark naked. They were nude.
They knew what they were doing.
Yes. Now it's shirtless, and that's it. And the thing that I can't stand is when people refer to them as streakers, because those aren't streakers. Those are shirtless fat guys running onto the field.
By definition, that's not a streaker.
Exactly.
But you go skinny dipping with your underwear on? No. I mean, they have to do it right, I think.
Yeah. And I see streaking incidents at sports events overseas. This happens quite a bit in New Zealand with rugby. And those folks are full Monty, man. They are naked as the day they were born, running out onto the pitch.
Not messing around.
No. And I don't understand that. And the other last thing about the streakers, I think it was the third quarter that they did that. Am I right? Was it the third quarter?
I think, second half, definitely.
Early in the second half. If you spent that much money, and I'm assuming they paid some money for their tickets. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they got rich parents and mommy and daddy bought them Super Bowl tickets. Who knows? But if you spend that much money to go to the Super Bowl, wait until like the last minute of the game before you streak.
Get your money's worth.
Watch the game, enjoy yourself, and then at the end, boom.
Yeah.
That's when you pull it out and parade it across the field. That's what you do. But so I just feel like American streakers really on the big scale. If there was a World Cup of streakers, much like the men's soccer team, we would never make it into the quarterfinal.
No, that would be an embarrassment.
Yeah.
Well,
so
how did they get past security, by the way? That's the first thing I asked my wife. Was like, what, streaker? What is this, 1978? Plus, where's all the security? I mean, usually the Super Bowl is the absolute most secure place other than the White House in this country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The
Definitely.
number of security that is around the place and around the thing, especially the field, is insane. How did they How did they do it?
I don't know. Something else that just dawned on me, and I've never been to that stadium before. In fact, I've only been through Vegas once. I've never gone to Vegas for any amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a dome?
Yes.
And is it now I know that some domes have like glass, on the dome, and you can see. I saw a picture from above, and I couldn't really tell if it was like an enclosed. I know this how it sounds, but like an enclosed dome where you can't really see out the stadium, or you can.
I'm not sure. I believe there are windows around the building and the windows in the roof itself, but there is also a lot of struts and whatever attached to the bottom part of the roof. So it's kind of, I don't know. I'm not super familiar with that building. But you look at it from the outside, and there's a lot of windows around that thing.
Well, the thing
but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of light getting in.
Right. The thing I thought was interesting is that they showed an aerial shot from off in the distance, probably a camera perched on top of a skyscraper down there in Vegas, of the jets doing the flyover the stadium, but the stadium roof was closed.
Right. Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's odd. It's like you got the planes flying over, but the stadium roof is closed. It's like it's nobody inside is going, woo, looky,
Well, at that point, it's just you're doing a flyover for the parties.
That's right. That's right. And the hookers down there.
Right.
Well, I thought it was a pretty entertaining Super Bowl. I did post that I was I started the game pulling for the Chiefs because their uniform colors most resemble that of a Cheez-It box.
Okay.
It's kind of a reddish orange, kind of gold.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I thought that was just as good as any reason to root for a team.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
What, you haven't thought of it?
49ers, their home jerseys are still red, aren't they? Parker, don't they? When they play at home, it's a red jersey for San Francisco as well.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, but it's a different shade of red. Kansas City, the Chiefs red is like just like really red, and almost like a hint of orange. I feel like the Niners is almost like it's not burgundy by any stretch, but it's darker. It's more of a darker sort of, almost like a crimson, maybe. Would that be right? Could we call it a crimson?
Yeah.
Something like,
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why I went with the Chiefs.
Now, are you insinuating that's because they lost, or is that why they lost? Because of the hue of the jerseys? Are you saying
no?
I'm just
making the point that I was rooting for the Chiefs. I have no dog in the fight. I don't really care.
Okay.
But I was going with the Chiefs because their uniforms most resemble that of a Cheez-It box. And if you look at my Facebook page, you see the colors right next to each other. Cheez-It box, Patrick Mahomes uniform, pretty much hand in hand.
Now, are you now going to declare yourself a Chiefs fan?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Not at all. I just, if I'm going to pull for one game or one player or one team in a game, that's why. That's all.
Okay.
Plus my wife is a Swiftie, so I kind of had to keep the peace and go with the Chiefs.
Sure.
So Taylor Swift and crunchy crackers.
So everything's calm in your house now.
Everything is fine.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to another week of radio. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Kim. Hey, Heather. Hey, Clinton. Roxy. Roxy, I love your name. Roxy Reber. That's a radio name. Hey, Kim. Thank you for your video over the weekend. That was nuts. Heather, you listen to the radio so I wouldn't have to see anything that's already saturated on the media. Okay. Deadpool, I thought that was interesting. I've not seen either of the Deadpool movies. My wife and I were talking about that last night. I feel like we need to. And yes, he was not streaking. That is not streaking. But Ray Stevens, that's a great song. I think I've got that somewhere. Do I have it here somewhere? Let me look here. I do have it somewhere. Bear with me.
Boogie that, boogie that.
There goes,
Boogie that, boogie that.
and he ain't wearing no clothes.
Oh, yes, they call him the street.
Boogie that,
Fastest thing on 2 feet.
boogie that.
He's just as proud as he can be of his anatomy. He gonna give us a peek. Oh, yes, they call him the street. He likes to show off his physique. If there's an audience to be found, he'll be streaking it round, inviting public critique.
Yep, me too, Joyce. I'm going to talk about Kirky here probably coming up after 5:30. Yeah, I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. Ah.
Member FSLIC. Here's a look at the weather now. Sunny today. We'll have a high of 53. Going to be clear tonight. We'll have some frost. Low down around 32. Then sunny tomorrow. We'll have a high of 58. Currently right now, well, partly cloudy out there. It's 41 WING degrees. More to be said today about the ongoing police controversy. Story on Wing News at 8:30 with our boy Bill.
United Van Lines.
back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7. You remember Friday morning we had that cow on the loose out there on I-675, another sign of the impending cowspiracy that's going on in this country. But I saw this over the weekend. Somebody posted a picture, and I don't know if this is true. I feel like this could have been doctored, but I saw it in a number of places. And I didn't realize that the cow that was on the loose was unalived. I thought the cow was rescued and taken away. But apparently out on 675 near Indian Ripple, there's a picture of what looks to be a deceased cow and a note on it that says police notice warning this cow will be towed in 48 hours from the below listed time in accordance with the towing procedure of the city of Beaver Creek. And I'd like to know if this is true. This is one of those labels that they put on a car that's broken down on the side of the road. You leave it there for a few days, they're going to tow it. You got to get it out of there. But is it true that they really put this tag on a cow on the side of the road? And why? You don't do that for deer. Why would you do that for a cow? It's just roadkill, right? I mean, that's what it is. So it's very odd. Not sure about that. Let's see real quickly. Roy and Xenia. What's up, Roy?
Turnover, but I do have a list now. We'll see if my battery's I actually forgot to turn these off.
Hey,
hello.
Hey, Roy.
Yeah.
Hey, Roy. You're on the air.
Oh wow! I'm out here at Carroll Park in Beaver Creek, getting ready to play a partial glow round of disc golf.
Oh, okay. I got you. So
and
what's
I
happening?
drove over and I thought, nobody's mentioned that Christ was honored in the Super Bowl.
I saw that. Yes, they spent $17.5 million on those commercials.
I'm wondering who did that.
It was the guy who owns the Hobby Lobby.
Oh, okay.
He's got all that craft money. He's spending it on commercials. Yeah.
Well,
that's pretty cool.
I mean, if we can reach one, that's all that counts.
Sure. I just imagine how many people he could have helped with $17.5 million. Think of all the people that need a meal.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Hey, Ken, how you doing? What's going on? Yeah, Ryan, I saw that JFK or RFK Jr. commercial too. I thought that was interesting. Like how they used all the old radio jingles, I thought that was pretty cool looking. Ken, did they ever talk to you about my idea of doing a web series with you guys? Doing videos of me helping you clean chimneys? I have an idea. I think that would be kind of fun. Right, Denise, that was kind of my idea. I mean, not that I'm trying to steal that idea, but I just thought it would be an interesting spin on local businesses. Todd the chimney sweep. Todd would probably get stuck in the chimney. See, what I was thinking was like a lot of the local businesses that advertise on my show, I could go out and do like a video, like Tires Unlimited. They're one of our new sponsors. They're sponsoring the Cars into Building. Plus, they're actually giving we're doing a promotion with them on Wednesday when Mary's here doing Valentine's Day. But that's right. If Santa can make it down the chimney, so can I. Oh, there you go. Clinton, there's not a bottle of lube big enough to help me slide down the chimney. 55-gallon drum. I didn't, Paul. How was it? How was it different than the regular? Did they have different announcers? Astrolube. Leslie, by the way, thank you for the buttons shout out earlier. I totally missed that. I mean, I didn't do it, and then I saw your message, so.
Remember, if any news, weather, or traffic breaks this hour, we will break in immediately. Now, it's more of the most powerful talk lineup on the radio. Listen live right now on the WHIO app, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk.
Don't give me that politics, Jazz. It's not my racket.
People are tired of hearing nothing but doom and despair on the radio.
Everyone just relax, all right?
The problems of the world are not in my department.
Now, who would like a cookie?
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me at 457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Hi again, Kirky here. Gee, I'm having trouble with this darn equipment here. Hey, Harry the engineer. Come on over here, Harry.
Yeah, what is it, Kirky?
Hey, can you fix this tape recorder here? I can't get anything to work in this joint.
What's this?
It's a tape recorder. You're an engineer, aren't you?
Okay, here. Hey, oh,
Hey,
Whiz.
give me those wires.
Hold
here.
on to that.
Okay, I can hold on
Hold on
this.
to that.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness, your eyes are smoking.
Oh, don't forget to join the Kurt Show in the morning.
Let me throw some water on you.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. And as I said at the beginning of the show, there wouldn't be an Evening Edge, I don't think, without Steve Kirk, only because I grew up listening to Kirky, and he was nuts. He was just a nut on the radio, and I loved that so much. And my very first job, I was still actually in school at the International College of Broadcasting over there at Smithville, where, by the way, I'll be hosting a podcast seminar here in a couple of weeks. Find more on my Facebook page. I was still a student there, and I got a job at WING, and at the time it was Z93. And my first job was just running the board on Wing. And I was there the day that they let all of the DJs, live DJs, go, with the exception of Kirky. Kim Ferris was there, who was a Dayton Broadcasting Hall of Famer, as well as a Ohio Broadcasting Hall of Famer. Harley D, you might remember Harley D. Bill worked with him. He was an on-air announcer, and there were a couple more, and I just can't remember them at the moment. But Steve Kirk was there, and I had the great opportunity when I would work overnights. Kirky would, after I went out and got him breakfast, and the folks down the hallway at Z93 breakfast, he'd let me sit in the studio. And I learned so much just by being there. I knew absolutely nothing about doing radio other than the fact that I loved it. I just loved it. It was so much fun. I loved being in the building. I loved the smell of it. And, you know, he was the first one actually who kind of got me inspired in radio, not just because I remember listening to him on the radio. And I've told this story before, but when I was 10 years old, I was a Cub Scout, and my troop there in Beaver Creek, we managed to get a tour of WING radio. And it was there on East David, where it's still located now. And it was Steve Kirk who gave us the tour. And I just remember him, you know, in full Steve Kirk regalia, just, just this unbelievable character, entertaining these 10-year-olds, showing us around the building, and just falling in love with that atmosphere and seeing the shiny equipment and the microphone and the mixing board and not knowing what any of it did, but just realizing at that moment, it's like, this is something different. This is something special. You know, my dad was a salesman. He was an office worker, as were many people, you know, and while he did a great thing and was very, you know, was a great father and a wonderful support, providing a life for his family. It was a run of the mill office job. But man, oh man, when I saw what was happening inside the radio station, I just fell in love. And the idea that at one point I would have the opportunity to work with him and get to know him a little bit. I mean, I would never ever say that Steve Kirk and I were friends. Jason Michaels, who works here, was friends with Steve Kirk, knew him much better than I. and other folks in Dayton radio knew him much better than I. But he was just an inspiration, and I really, really enjoyed my time working with him and just learning so much. And Jason, you wanted to share some thoughts as well.
Well, yeah, obviously I had the opportunity to do the all-night show on Wing for a number of years, which of course meant, 4:30 in the morning,
right? Yeah.
Steve would come walking in. A couple of thoughts. First of all, there couldn't have been a nicer human being. For every story that you heard about him being loud and obnoxious and all that,
yeah,
he was that way on the air, but he wasn't exactly quiet in reality.
Yeah.
When the microphone was off, but he was also the kind of person that if he knew you respected him, he'd practically give you the shirt off his back.
Right.
I mean, I remember him, he didn't get along with a lot of PDs, a lot of program directors.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But
they all want to control you.
Right. Well,
to a degree.
But, if you think about it, he spent 25 years on Wing here in Dayton, but he also spent 3 years on WSAI in Cincinnati and 3 years before that on WCOL in Columbus.
Right.
So in reality, that man was on the radio in this region for over 30 years.
Yeah, that's remarkable. And I remember the last time I saw him was actually at a Dragons game, and it was the inaugural season back in 2000. And I was at the time, I was the director of entertainment for the Dragons. Yeah. And I saw him down in the seats and walked down from the press box, and I said hello, and I said, I don't know if you remember me. And of course he remembered me. I bought him breakfast, all the time.
I'll tell you what.
But he was just a lovely man, and one of the last real Dayton radio icons.
Yeah.
I think.
And I mean, I've got to tell a quick story here. You haven't lived until you've been to a big concert with Steve Kirk. Kirky, who was not married at the time, he had a date, I had a date, and we both went off to see the Rolling Stones at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. This is like, I think, 89, the Steel Wheels tour.
Okay.
Literally, everybody around us knew who Steve was, and everybody wanted to talk to him.
Right, sure.
So I mean, it's like you couldn't really watch the concert because everybody wanted to talk to Kirky.
No, I got you. Well, he was obviously on the radio, but he was also on TV quite a bit.
Right.
With the telethon, he was a pitch man. He did commercials for local businesses and different things. So, I mean, he really was sort of, he was, if we had celebrities in Dayton, he was like one of the last celebrities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Jason, I appreciate your comments, buddy. So yeah, that was, when I heard that today, I got an email, and, his family issued a statement just saying that he passed away Thursday, February 8th, 2 days shy of his 92nd birthday. And a friend of mine, Scott, sent me this great picture, and I'll try to share it here in a little bit. A great picture of him and Lou M. And he's right. Heaven now has a new morning show, and it's Kirky and Lou M. Holy cow. Pretty cool. 937-457-1290. We have a current events quiz. If you'd like to take the current events quiz, win some tickets to go see Sammy Hagar and Loverboy at Riverbend. Just be the fifth caller, and you'll talk to Parker. He'll get you hooked up, and we can take the quiz. Roberta in Dayton, what's going on, Roberta?
Hey, I am just doing a public service because I see every day, and I heard, in the news lately about pedestrian strikes.
Oh, yeah.
And some very tragic. And, but when I drive, of course, this time of night when it's starting to get dark, and I notice areas that are not very well lit.
Yeah.
And sometimes I see people walking, I see them well in advance, but other times they have come up on me like instantaneously. And these people are wearing all dark clothing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to blame the victims, but if you're going to be out walking at dusk or dawn or really any time, wear something light colored.
Yes.
Wear
Yeah.
something
100%.
reflective.
100%, Roberta. Last week, and I talked about this week or two ago. I was heading home after doing the show, and it's wintertime, right? And it's dark when I get off the air at 7:00.
Yeah.
And I am going down Linden Avenue, and I'm in the right lane, and I'm going to stop at the little drive-through because I'm going to get myself some drinks. And I'm in the
I
right
know exactly
lane
where you're talking
yeah,
about.
and I go by Burger King. I go by that little church, and all of a sudden, walking on the right side of the road, going with traffic, not against traffic like you're supposed to, is somebody pushing a wheelchair, and they're wearing all black. And I almost hit him, and I was shaking after the fact. And I pulled into the place, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And I get my stuff, and I leave, and there's the guy, and he's pushing a wheelchair. And it's all of his stuff. It's nobody in the wheelchair, and he's wearing all black, and he's walking in traffic. And I'm like, I don't understand what is so hard about using sidewalks or just using, walking against the traffic so people can see you easier.
Right. I can definitely relate. And it's like, that young girl that was hit at Burkhardt and Woodman. That's not always well lit. The man that was hit crossing by the over there Bayside and Woodman. That's also not well lit.
Yeah, that whole area, like Linden, Woodman, all that, and especially with all of the construction that's going on right now, it's out of control. And look, you're right. You don't want to blame the victim, but on some level, when you are walking in the middle of the road, I see people, they walk
on the side of the road.
I mean, it's like, what do you, and here's the problem. And I know I'm a little stammered by it because it does drive me nuts, because it's not, if you hit them, it's not only their life that you could be destroying or really screwing up. It's the person driving, because you have to live with that.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing that drives me nuts, is it's like, sure, maybe you don't care that you get hit, but if I hit you and God forbid kill you, it may not be my fault, but I'm going to have to live with that for the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
And I just don't understand why people are that way, but they are. So,
and I want to say, I have no idea if that young girl or that man, how they were dressed or what the situation is, but that was just an example that I was using. And
sure,
I pray for their families every day.
Yeah. Thank you, Roberta. Appreciate it.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst. It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
Double D.
H. Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
All righty. Leslie, you had some Cheetos for dinner? Hey, David, how you doing? Hope you're well. Oh, yeah, that drives me nuts too, Denise. I don't understand that. Here's the other thing, and I don't know if like you can turn on your automatic lights. You know what I'm talking about? You at least on my car, you can turn them on and they'll go on if the light sensor kicks them on. What I see all the time, and I don't know if it has any relation, but I see lots of times people have their headlights on, but their taillights aren't on. And I don't get that. I don't understand how that works. Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't know what the story is, but whatever reason, sometimes the headlight's working, but not the. Tail light fluid. That's probably what it is. Oh, Lordy. Holy cow. Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Thank you, Norm Kelly. We're running really behind, so we got to get to this quiz quickly. We got Larry in Washington Township. Hey, Larry, what's going on? How are you? I'm good. Could you, do you know the rules for current events quiz? All right, 3 questions, 3 possible answers. The answer is always C, and you're playing for a pair of tickets to see Sammy Hagar, not Hammy Sagar, but Sammy Hagar and Loverboy. They're going to be at Riverbend Music Center August 27th. All right, here is question number 1. U.S. Customs in Boston say one of their dogs recently discovered what kind of contraband hidden inside the luggage of a traveler returning from Africa? Was it A, a pygmy, B, 10 pounds of rhino cheese, or C, 4 mummified monkeys? You got it. That's correct. He brought him back to eat. Yum. Here's question number 2. A Lake County, Florida man was arrested after cops say he shot a box of donuts someone left on his porch, B, a neighbor's pet alligator, or C, a child's basketball. You got it. 2 kids were playing basketball out front. The ball kept hitting his fence, so he went and shot the ball. Yeah. Nice guy. Idiot with a gun. All right. Yeah. Here's question number 3 for the big win. A California woman was arrested for stabbing her husband during an argument in their car with A, a key fob, B, an emery board, or C, a corkscrew. You got it. It was a corkscrew. I wonder if they were coming back from a wine tasting. Who knows? Congratulations, Larry. You are the winner of the current events quiz. Hang on the line. We'll get your details. Okay, buddy? All right, there you go. And that's how you play the current events quiz.
Todd Hollst. It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up, punk.
T-O-double-D.
H-O-double-L. S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Well, that was so you guys can play along at home. You don't want to hear the answer, do you? You want to play. Sorry. Please don't discount me. Please. I appreciate it, Kim. Ryan, he has a sound effect on his voice box that he can just sort of clip, and it makes it sound like he's broadcasting from a secret traffic hideout. I don't know the answer to that. It's one of those silly radio things. This is disgusting. That's right. He's got multiple voices. A man of many voices. Uma. Yeah, I'm a little fidgety tonight.
Tell you is that I'm a real good dog. See, I'm a good dog, I'm a good dog, I'm a good dog.
It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. You know, sometimes I give shout-outs to Edge heads that are listening. They might send me a note, an email, or a message, make a comment, and I say, hey, I'm going to give you a shout-out. Well, this particular shout-out is for Murph the dog. And I got a picture from Murph's owner, and Murph is sitting on the couch watching the Evening Edge up on the big screen. So, Murph, you're a good dog. Yes, you are. Oh, my. So coming up this hour, I am going to talk to Parker Testa, my producer, because last week we were talking about the Super Bowl, and we went through all these prop bets, little side bets that you could make on the Super Bowl, and we kind of went through them on the air, and we're going to check our progress or how we did, the results. And actually, we didn't do too bad. So we're gonna get into that. Also, I want to mention this Wednesday, Valentine's Day. My wife, Mary, is going to be here on the show for 2 hours, 5 to 7. And we're going to be talking about a multitude of things. Now, the last time she was on the show, she was helping me fill time for 2 hours because there was construction going on in our master control, and we didn't have all of the equipment, and that included the phones. You might remember that. The phones were not working. So I lined up some guests to come in and sit with me for a couple of hours while we, just killed time, talked about whatever. Well, Wednesday, the phones are working. They will be working, much like they have been for the last few weeks. So you are going to be able to call in and question my wife on whatever float your boat. So look forward to that on Monday. And we're also going to have a really cool prize to give away, courtesy of the folks at Tires Unlimited, but I'll tell you more about that later. We do have a Florida man.
Florida man shines with every single crime, stupefying and delicious. Some might even think fictitious. Florida man is always ambitious.
You know, Murph's owner just sent me another message and said that Murph flipped out when she heard her name on the radio. Maybe that's something we start doing. Doggy shout-outs. Why not? Hey, you know what? We could get him sponsored. That's not bad. That's a good idea. All right, here's our Florida man. And this question or this story leads me to a question that I would like to ask. What is the strangest thing or oddest thing that you've ever accidentally purchased on a company credit card? Now, I've never been trusted enough by my employer to be given a company credit card. If I need to buy something, I always have to go through a chain of command. And I'm, you know what, honestly, I'm fine with that because I'm a little absent-minded sometimes, and I could grab the wrong card, and buy my White Claw, which would be a problem, huge problem. So I'm kind of glad that I don't have that responsibility. Now, this Florida guy, what he did was not accidental. He did this intentionally. But I really think it sort of leads to that question, like what have you accidentally purchased? Or maybe if you're a business owner or even a coworker that you know of, maybe made an odd purchase. This guy from Clearwater, 47-year-old guy, he drives a truck and he works for a paving company. So this guy had a credit card that he could use from time to time to put gas in his truck. So this guy had the card, and the company started noticing a few unusual charges at a local convenience store repeatedly. This guy would go in and he'd buy lottery tickets. Now, in Florida, you can buy lottery tickets with a credit card as long as the tickets cost less than $20. Now, I don't know if that means $20 each ticket or if your, amount doesn't exceed $20, because there are some like scratch off lottery tickets that are $20. So maybe if it doesn't cost more than that, you could buy a bunch of them. But September last year, the company's owner discovered several $thousands worth of fraudulent charges on this Chase Bank credit card that was only supposed to be used for work. When they dug deeper, they found that this guy charged $31,693 in charges for lottery tickets. There was no surveillance footage of the man making the purchases, but one of the store managers came forward and recognized him and informed police, said that he was there frequently. He mentioned that the man would arrive in the company truck and use a credit card to purchase scratch-off lottery tickets. Now, my question is, I wonder how much he won. You would think that if you blow $31,000 over $31,000, chances are he probably won some money. Now, there's no chance, I'm guessing, that he won more than $31,000. It's always a losing proposition. But according to the authorities, Chase Bank never reimbursed the business, and it's still a financial loss. And I guess, if somebody was using your credit card fraudulently, maybe in some other part of the country, they got your credit card number. Sure. I guess that's fraud for sure. My wife got a call over the weekend. Somebody purchased a $25 app from some website, and they caught it and called my wife and said, hey, somebody used your card, and they canceled a card. Just as a side note, and my wife and I had this conversation. The purchase was made like at 9:05 a.m., let's say. I don't know. I don't remember the exact time, but let's just say it was 9:05 a.m. By 9:10 a.m., the bank was calling and saying, hey, somebody used your card, suspicious activity. We canceled your card. If it only took you 5 minutes to figure out that this was fraudulent, why couldn't you figure it out when it was trying to be authorized? You know what I mean? It's like if you know almost instantly, oh, somebody's trying to use your card, it's fraudulent. What? I don't understand that. But anyway, I'd be curious to know what sort of strange things maybe you have encountered, or, maybe you bought, accidentally went on a trip, you pulled out the credit card, you put it down, you buy whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh. There was a lady that I worked with who had a company card and inadvertently bought hundreds of dollars in dresses. And it turned into a huge stink. It was completely innocent. Nobody, said that she did it fraudulently or trying to, use company funds to buy her mini skirts. But it was just one of those things, because it just becomes this huge deal. How do you deal with it? Do you have to dispute the charges? Do you pay them back? Do you dock their pay? Just a big pain in the butt. But if you got something like that, 937-457-1290. We don't have time right now, but here in a second, we're going to go through our prop bets, Parker, okay? So get your list ready, and we'll see how we did with the side bets for the Super Bowl.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst. It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T-O.
Double D.
H. Oh. Double L. S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Thank you, Craig. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Let's see. Tom, I'm not sure what your question. Was it Z93 or right 95? I don't know what you mean. There was a Z93. I worked there for a number of years. Right 95. I don't remember that. There was DJ 95. There was Power 95. I don't remember right 95, but I guess it could be. I guess there could have been one somewhere. Yeah, Jim, we're gonna beat down Cupid at some point. We might do that on Wednesday. I didn't want to spend a week beating down Cupid. But we'll get to it. Oh, is there a vault with all those old jingles? There is all of the old radio jingles that you might hear. They're saved somewhere. I know that's not very precise, but it depends on what jingles you're talking about. Like I've got a bunch of old WHIO jingles. Somewhere there are old Z93 jingles, and really you can go back to the companies that provided them. There's a bunch of different jingle companies. Jam is one. That's the one that springs to mind. But a lot of those jingles, those old companies have saved. You can find a lot of old radio jingles on YouTube. Let's see if I can find. Let me see here. I don't know. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Google Drive, Radio Archive, WHIO Nostalgia Week. Here we go. I can't play all of these, but I will play one of them. I'll play two of them here. Download. Let's see here. All right, get ready. Brace yourself.
It's the start to set the dial.
Hulu.
All the folks around here know they'll hear a solid show. Top tunes and new tunes to spin for you, and only for memories too.
Be back with Lou M, the guy you like.
At the mark.
Turn your radio on.
Turn your radio on.
To the voice of Dayton.
Turn your radio on.
You'll hear what you like. You'll like what you hear. 24 hours each and every day on WHIO.
What about those? Those are great. I love those old jingles. I wish I had the old Z93 jingles. I had it one time. I had them all on reel to reel. Let's see. Are there any more?
The Secretary of Defense is back in the hospital. We'll have the latest at 6:30. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
Get a load of this guy.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Just in our live stream, we were chatting about the passing of Steve Kirk, longtime morning man at Wing Radio. Many people remember listening to him. I certainly do, and I gave you my thoughts on it. But that brought up some radio jingles, like the idea of old radio jingles. And I love old radio jingles. They're just the best. And I do actually have a couple from HIO. And people were like, "Oh, you got to use this one." And I don't know. I mean, they sound pretty dated, but they are fun. Here's one just real quickly.
Turn your radio on.
Turn your radio on.
To the voice of Dayton.
Turn your radio on.
Wow.
You'll hear what you like. You'll like what you hear. 24 hours each and every day on WHIO.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I got a whole bank of them. Maybe we'll play them one night. 937-457-1290. Dave in Miamisburg. What's up, Dave?
Hey, Todd, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, man. Just getting home from work.
So what's going on, man?
Yeah, man. About that thing with the credit cards, with the company credit cards, paying for gas and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I had a company credit card a while back when I was living in Jersey, and I figured out you could use it in the store. So I'd use it every now and then, get myself a pack of cigarettes, sodas or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing big. I didn't charge up $31,000.
Right.
Scratch-offs, but,
right. Yeah.
But I did. I dabbled a little bit. Got some cigarettes and sodas and stuff, but nothing major. Nothing major. It was just small stuff. And back then, I think cigarettes were only $4 or $5 a pack at the time. So.
See, I could see you sort of maybe explaining it away, and your boss being, well, you're out there working. I don't know what you do, Dave, but maybe it's like, it's not a big deal. Construction, it's not a big deal. You get yourself a pack of smokes once in a while, or you get yourself a Mountain Dew or whatever. And maybe that wouldn't be a big deal. But if you're going in and you're buying lottery tickets,
that's crazy.
That's a little bit different.
Insane.
Yep. All right, Dave.
I
appreciate your call, buddy. Have a good one. All right, Parker, we got time for this? Got a couple of minutes?
Yeah.
All right. So last week, Parker and I sat down here on the show, and we placed our Super Bowl 58 prop bets. These are bets that you can place outside of the game itself. Right.
What I discovered, though, it was really sad.
What's
they
that?
have restrictions on some of these fun novelty prop bets. And so you couldn't actually bet on any of these in Ohio.
Really?
I tried.
You couldn't do it in Ohio.
Believe me, some of these you could because they're game related, but like the color of Reba's boots, the anthem.
You couldn't bet on those.
Couldn't bet on
That's
it.
screwy.
No.
Give me the governor on the phone. All right. So the first one on the list was time for Reba McEntire's national anthem. Over under 90 and a half seconds.
It went over.
And I guessed over. Did you?
I did guess over.
So we won that one.
Yep.
Okay. It was 95 seconds. Primary color of Reba's boots. I said brown.
I said red, but they were black.
They were black.
Yeah.
That's right. Let's see. Who will be shown first with Taylor Swift during the broadcast? It was Donna Kelsey, Brittany Mahomes, Jason Kelsey, or other. I took Brittany Mahomes.
As did I.
And it was actually other. It was Blake Lively and Ashley Avenon. I don't know who that is. Yeah. Let's see. Outcome of the coin toss. I picked heads.
As did I.
And it was heads.
Yep.
Taylor Swift to be shown within first 5 minutes of the game. I said yes, but no, she was not.
She wasn't.
Primary color of Taylor Swift's top at the Super Bowl was red, white, yellow, or other. I guessed red.
Let's see. I also guessed red.
And it was black.
It was.
Yeah, so it was the always interesting other. Primary color of Usher's shirt during his first appearance. I said blue. I didn't see did you get the answer on that one?
I
think it was white. It was white.
I went with white, and
that's right.
I got that one. So.
Will Usher be wearing sunglasses when first seen? I said yes.
As did I.
And the answer was no.
That shocked me.
Yeah, I thought so for sure. We both said yes, that Ludacris would perform and Lil Jon perform, and we were right with that.
Yeah.
First song of halftime. I think we both said yay. Or yeah.
No, I said that would be the last one.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You were. That's correct. And you were correct.
I was right on
the
that
first one. I said yeah, and it was caught up or something. I don't know what that was. And then the last one, which color Gatorade will be dumped on the winning coach? It was either Clearwater, red, pink, blue, yellow, lime, green, orange, or other, or none. And it was actually other. It was purple.
Purple, right.
So actually, I thought we did pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's a shame we couldn't bet any money on that.
I know. I tried, believe me.
Maybe at some point we'll be able to.
We'll see.
We'll see.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst. It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Spell it out. T-O. Double D. H. Oh. Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to my Google Drive and I'm going to download all the jingles, all the WHIO jingles. Oh, wait a second. Go back. What was that? Okay. Download. Well, while that's zipping, here's one. This isn't WHIO, but I've got this one in my collection. Let's see.
The weather is in WONE. Wow! Yeah! The in sound for the onset. WONE Channel 98. Wow! What a weekend! Wow, wow, wow!
There's a couple from WONE. Let's here's some WHIO. Oh, this one's a good one. I like this one.
listening to the voice of Dayton. WHIO.
WHIO 1290 WHIO going your way.
Thank you, Josh.
We just want to be with you all the time. Feeling fine. This is WHIO. WHIO 1290 Radio. 1290 Radio.
WHIO feeling fine. WHIO People Power WABI Dayton. WCFL Chicago. Discover Dayton, it's a wonderful town. This is WHIO.
All right, we're just going to go ahead and play some of these on the show. Why not?
Hey, gang, Kirky here. Gee, I'm having trouble with this darn equipment here. Hey, Harry the engineer. Come on over here, Harry.
Yeah, what is it, Kirky?
Hey, can you fix this tape recorder here? I can't get anything to work in this joint.
What's this?
It's a tape recorder. You're an engineer, aren't you?
Okay, here. Hey, oh.
Hey,
Where's?
give me those wires.
Hold
here.
on to that.
Okay, I can hold on
Hold on to that.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness, your eyes are smoky.
Oh, but don't forget to join the Kurt Show in the morning.
Let me throw some water on you.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. One of my inspirations for my career in radio, Steve Kirk passed away a few days ago, age of 91, just a few days short of his 92nd birthday, living down in Daytona. Talked a bit about him earlier. And it kind of brought up a conversation on the live stream of Wing and Steve Kirk and Lou M and WHIO. And jingles came into the conversation. So I have I figured, why not? Let's just do it. Let's just play them.
About what I was going to say, and I think it actually happened two times, maybe three times on Wing. Once back in maybe the early '60s, and then maybe later when Kirky came to work there. It could have been I do recall there were incidents like that. Yeah. Oh no, I know what you're thinking about. You're thinking about the song that he did, and it could have been Winchester Cathedral, but then he parodied it. If you remember, it was "You're listening to Kirky da 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 on Wing Radio." Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. He lived a very long life and
Yes, he did.
enjoyed his retirement, and was just an iconic figure in radio, especially here in Dayton, southwestern Ohio.
I have a very cute story, and anybody that knows anything about Steve Kirk knows he was a huge dog lover. Big dog lover.
Yeah.
And I first met him when I was still in high school, and I worked at the old Culp's cafeteria on Far Hills.
Okay.
And he would come in there periodically, and I, he'd flirt and we'd talk and all that stuff. And anyway, to make a long story short, many, many years later, we kept in touch because I moved out of state and then kind of moved back, and then I'd call, and then I found out he retired. And I had my mother came down with cancer in the mid 80s, and I had to move in with her to take care of her, my children and myself. And I had a Doberman Pinscher at that time, and where my mother lived could have no animals.
Oh,
broke my heart. I mean, I cried for days. The dog actually stayed in the car. It wasn't hot summer and it wasn't cold winter, so the dog actually lived in my car for a while till I could find it a good home.
Yeah.
I was not selling her. I wanted to give her away, and I called Kirk. And I said, Kirk, you got to help me. I said, I got to get on the radio, and I want to advertise for a good family for my dog.
Yeah.
And he didn't hesitate one little bit. And he put me on the radio, and that same day I had probably a dozen phone calls, so I had to pick out which ones I wanted to go see.
Yeah.
And I was looking for a family with children because the dog was wonderful with children.
Yeah.
And you couldn't just give a Doberman Pinscher to anybody. You had to know it they had to know the breed and know the dog.
Right. I
She
got
was a
you.
military family. Her husband worked at the base, and he periodically had to be away on long periods.
Okay,
She was a
right.
little afraid to be alone. And so she thought the dog would be a good idea. Well, I took the dog over. We met. We talked. And I said, let's do this again. Let's give it a day.
Okay,
I'll come
right.
back.
So he helped you get rid of your dog.
Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
awesome.
And I don't know if she ever died of being fat and lazy, but I don't care. She was happy because she had children to play
I
with.
gotcha.
And I never and Kirky was just that kind of person.
Sure. I got you. Thank you, Barbara, for that. Yeah, that's one of those little things that somebody might do, a personality might do on the radio for a listener or whatever it might be. And most people forget about it, but it's one of those deals where it just sticks with you. So, all right. So I just figured, what the heck? Why not? This is a great night to play some of these. We're sort of waxing nostalgic about Dayton radio with the passing of Steve Kirk. So I just went in and found in my archive a lot of these old jingles. And I think Jason Michaels probably had some of these jingles too. But here's some great ones from, I would say this is probably late 70s, maybe early 80s. Jingles from WHIO. Listen to some of these.
You're listening to the voice of Dayton. WHIO.
I think there you're probably 75 degrees of the Miami Valley.
Yeah, that was actually, folks, believe it or not, that was not actually B.J. Thomas, but
Just
that
an
was
impersonator.
an impersonator doing the raindrops keep falling on my head type of thing.
They also did one, and this is sort of reminiscent of that, having somebody do just an impersonation, but
WHIO Radio.
And of course, back in those days,
not the Beach Boys.
I was going to say, and of course, back in those days, we were the least hip station in town.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, it was. That's the truth. Here's one for Lou.
It's the style to set the dial. All the folks around you know the lyrics talent show. Top tunes and new tunes to spin for you.
Man, this has got to be earlier in the 70s.
I'd say well before that.
The kind you like.
At the mall.
And also within my file somewhere, there is a send-up that Jackie Gleason did for Lou M in the Ralph Cramden character from the Honeymooners.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I see one that this is the Jackie Gleason Singers, but I think that's the one I just played.
Right, yeah.
Here's another one.
Good morning, Dayton. Wake up and get it on. WHIO.
Wake up and get it on.
Yes.
Dayton. That's a fun one. That is a fun one. I might have to try to utilize that somehow. Here's another good one.
Have a happy day.
Month of 90. WHIO.
I think we need the Evening Edge Singers.
Yeah, something like
Somehow.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all right, here's the last one.
We just want to be with you all the time.
Love that.
Feeling fine.
Feeling fine.
This is WHIO.
Yeah, they were very sort of bland. I
Well-
mean, they're fun to listen to, and maybe at the time, but man, oh man, you're right.
You must remember in those days we were playing everything from Andy Williams' "Can't Get Used to Losing You."
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I have the 45 from our station's musical library, and nobody's going to see it again here. We used to play it a lot.
Yeah, I got you. Kathy and Eaton, what's up, Kathy?
Hey, Todd. I love hearing about reminiscing about Steve Kirk and Lou M and the others. I grew up, me too, listening to Wing and WHIO a lot, and it inspired me to become a disc jockey. And I was interviewed by Steve Kirk after
really?
I'd gone to International School of Broadcasting. It was a school then, but it's become a college. And yeah, he was really nice. He was great. And my mother, who was half deaf, she said, he's probably deaf because he yells on the radio so much. And I had to come back and tell her, no, he's just fine, Mom. He spoke to me in a normal tone.
Right.
So it was really nice to meet him. And I got to tell him that he was an inspiration for me to become a disc jockey in Top 40 radio. And so I'm glad I had that.
Well, that's awesome. Like I said, he was a huge inspiration of mine, and it was just the silliness and the zaniness and the stuff that he would do, and it was just crazy. So I mean, he and Kent Voss, who worked here back in the 90s, I would say probably the two biggest influences on what I do today, as far as radio folks go. So
right.
But
that's why I enjoy your show so much.
Well, thank you.
It reminds me of those days.
Oh man,
and all those characters he did. And does anybody remember Waldo? There was a skit with
Jason's.
Yeah, I got to pop in here. You're thinking of Walter the Friendly Poet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
who usually was trying to get a belt of something somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'll never forget Steve Kirk's live commercials for Tall Timbers Restaurant. He always made me hungry every time. I don't know.
Well, it worked. Worked, Kathy. It worked.
Great.
All right, we got to fly here. Thank you so much. Appreciate you listening there.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
The Storm Center 7 forecast looks partly cloudy on Tuesday. There could be a few snow flurries across the northern part of the Miami Valley, a high temperature of 42 degrees. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Cheney for Dayton Severe Weather Station 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. By any four.
Oh, Steve, 100%. I should have been more clear, and I didn't mention Gary. He's another one of my inspirations. So I never really worked with him. I've talked to him. I've messaged with him, like on Facebook Messenger, because he's on there. But I never worked with him. But I loved his stuff too, and his parodies, and Earl Pitts and all that.
Discover Dayton, the home of aviation in the beautiful Miami Valley. Dayton is a special place to be. So much to see and do day and night. Discover that in Dayton everything's alright. Discover Dayton on WHIO.
Steve, I remember that. Let's see if I could do it. Oh, yeah, this is Gilbert Gnarly, Gnarley. I remember that, and I remember Doc doing the senseless survey. Heather, he did work. I don't know about WoWo, but he did work at CKLW Probably Colleen. I just remember it's GNRLEY. Gilbert Gnarly. See, you know, it's funny. The reason they were able to do a lot of those calls, and, you know, lots of times calls like that can just be 100% fake and produced. But back in the day, and I don't think it's this way anymore, but in Las Vegas, or not Las Vegas, in Nevada, you could call people there and record their voice and use it without their permission. See, if I called somebody's phone number here in Dayton live on the air and didn't tell them that the song or the phone call was being recorded, I could get in trouble. But back then, you could call people in Vegas or in Nevada, and you wouldn't get in trouble.
WHIO.
From the McAfee Heating and Air Studios, breathe easy. Choose McAfee, WHIO Dayton, and WHIO FM Pleasant Hill.
Snow just misses the Miami Valley tonight. We'll have the latest at 7 o'clock. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
This guy was smart, sophisticated, professional. I mean, really, really great.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. We just have a minute left. Cowboy Jim in Brookville, make it quick, buddy.
Hey, was Kirky on another local station before he went to Wing?
He was. Jason, where was he?
He was on what used to be Magic 104. That was his last radio job here.
There you go.
Before Wing, though, I think he was someplace locally. It might have even been Cincinnati.
Yeah, it was. Cincinnati in 63 to 66, and Columbus at WCOL from 1960 to 1963.
There you go, Cowboy. Thank you very much for your call. We'll be back tomorrow night, just after 5, though. That's UD game tomorrow night. So it's an hour-long show. And then Wednesday, of course, my wife, Mary, will be here for 2 hours. So get your probing questions ready. She will be here taking your calls. Have a terrific Monday night.
That's it. I'm pulling the plug.
You know what? I'm done.
Well, is that it? Is that all?
Oh, that was fun.
Show's over, ladies. Not bad, huh?
Will you get an A for effort?
Good night, sweet prince. Peace out, player. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Good night, everybody.